Well, hi everybody. I'm getting my video camera here set up, so give me just a second for that, and there I am. I'm going to get my. Give me a second while I get my my tripod set up here. But we do have a threat for some severe weather developing over the next several hours, and I wanted to do an update with that. Of course, as you'd expect, there's always those people on social media that are really hyping up things when, I don't necessarily know that this is one of those things that, really need to be hyped up a whole lot. I try to be the voice of reason, and that's kind of what, we're doing here this afternoon with this update. Oh, give me a second. The process of getting things set up while I'm on live here. So give me just a second. I gotta turn the lights on. There's a light. And here's a light. All right, so let's talk about what is going on this afternoon and why there's the threat of some pretty large hailstones developing this afternoon with these thunderstorms here. All right, let's see if this will work here. I don't have my normal tripod here, so I'm just using something that was already in this room here set up. So there we go. I can use that. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on. All right. So there is a threat of severe weather this afternoon, and of course, this is where the hype comes into play. Is here now. By no means am I talking against the Storm Prediction Center. By no means am I doing that here, because they are right and that they're good forecasters, and they do have an obligation to forecast based upon a set criteria that they look at. But a lot of forecasters, for whatever reason, go verbatim on this, and they don't do their own thing. They don't do their own research, their own forecast. They don't take the time to really dig in. They say, "Oh, these guys know more than I do, so I'm just going to go with what they're saying." So, all right, this is a level 3 enhanced risk. It runs from basically Wichita Falls down to Waco, Abilene, just east of Abilene, basically along Interstate 20, Dallas, Fort Worth, those are all the way over to East Texas. Now, the enhanced risk is particularly there for the fact that there's going to be some very large hail. I think that's the main concern this afternoon, and especially across North Texas. There should be multiple supercells that produce very large hail this afternoon. You wouldn't know it by looking outside. It's actually kind of quiet out there right now. It's sunshine. It's a nice Sunday morning, early afternoon. It looks good out there, but things are going to change in a hurry. We have a slug of moisture coming in from the south and the southwest this afternoon, and that's going to cause things to change in a hurry. It's going to get humid pretty fast, and thunderstorms are going to develop as that warm, moist air builds across the area, and we see a disturbance moving at us from the west, and there's a dry line in there. There's a couple things going on that's going to cause thunderstorms to develop this afternoon. All right, so if you look at this is the tornado probabilities. The green would be 2%, the brown is 5%, and where you see that yellow, that's 10%. I believe personally, based upon what I've seen, I think 5% is probably a good forecast. 10%, I don't know. You got to have in order to get significant, and in that hatch black area you see, they put that out when they're expecting significant severe weather, like a significant EF2 type tornado. In my opinion, I don't think that that's there this afternoon. I mean, I could be dead wrong here, but in my opinion, I don't think that the parameters are really there for violent, strong tornadoes this afternoon, even in the Metroplex or even down along the Interstate 20. Now, I mean, there could be some tornadoes that might spin up, but we don't have a lot of what we call strong winds in the lower atmosphere. And to get tornadoes, you really, number one, you got to have a way to turn the low part of the atmosphere. That happens when you have winds that increase, or they're strong, or they change direction with height in the atmosphere. Now, we got the change in direction in some areas, but it's not particularly strong. So when we look at tornado forecasting, we do what's called, we forecast it based upon what's called a hodograph, and I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. All right, so this is the latest run of the HER computer model. Here's the 17Z run. Let's see see if it's out. Yeah, it's only out a couple hours. We won't go 7. Let's go with the one from last hour. All right, so this is the what we call the this is the HER computer model. This is the latest run, the latest full run. This was as of 11 o'clock. Now watch what happens. Notice how we're quiet. There we are at 12, 1, 2, not much going on. 3, now you're starting to see some stuff try to develop. Look at that. Boom. By 4 o'clock, there are the thunderstorms. Of course, they start off pretty small, but they grow in size pretty quickly. And you're going to see these become supercells pretty fast. So look at those cells. You got some, at least this is what radar might would look like based upon this computer model. It shows supercell thunderstorms from east and northeast of Duvall, Oklahoma, down into Montague County, down into the Decatur, Bridgeport area, north side of Dallas, Fort Worth Metroplex. You got other supercells along the dry line towards Weatherford, Cleburne, east of Abilene. And look at all those across East Texas. Now, those across East Texas will probably be a little elevated, mostly hail producers. But the storms that you see here, those are the ones that might be a little more intense. We can put that in motion. This would be 6 o'clock, and you can see those big cells east of Wichita Falls at this point in time. But you can see big supercells, Cleburne into the Metroplex. Looks like there could be some pretty big hail producers moving right across the heart of Dallas between about 5 and 7 p.m. this afternoon. All right, so again, these are big supercells, and they're going to contain big hail. We know that for sure. And I don't know that, now they're scattered in nature, and I don't know that everybody sees those, okay? So if you're thinking, oh, I need to go put my car underneath the garage, you may not even see a thunderstorm, may even get rain. Some places may not even get rain out of it. But some places could get hit hard with it. All right, so we're going to look at what's called the hodographs. All right, so I know when I start talking and showing this kind of stuff, it winds up confusing you probably more than likely. But if you look at these, all right, so notice these things here, these little squiggly lines. It's called a hodograph. And what a hodograph does is, and I'm going to put this on full screen so you can see it better. What a hodograph does is you plot points. And those points are plotted as a result of the, let me turn that ticker off. That's from the other night. So let's take that off. We don't need that. All right, so how you plot it is you start at the Earth's surface and you plot a little dot based upon the wind direction and speed. Then you go up throughout the atmosphere all the way up to the very top of it, and you keep on plotting points based upon wind direction and speed. Now, the stronger the winds, the more that thing is going to bend and get longer. The weaker it is, it won't be quite as long, especially on the lower side of things. But it certainly does look like you have what's called storm organization there. And I'll zoom in a little closer on some of these here in a minute. All right, so watch these little squiggly lines. All right, notice here we are at 1 o'clock. How you're looking at these squiggly lines. I'll even click on one here. Let's click on this one here. This is down near Graham, Throckmorton. All right, so notice this part of it right over here. Well, let's see if I can get it. All right, make sure this is where it needs to be. All right, there it is. Okay, so notice how this is lined out. All right, so this indicates a westerly wind. This would be up higher in the atmosphere, and that indicates a westerly wind. Not particularly strong, but fairly strong. It makes it longer. So, you do have some decent winds aloft. But notice here how you just don't have that big. For a bigger tornado, of course, this shows the turn, okay? That does show the turn. So that gives the storm a chance to at least spin some. But you don't have a big, for bigger tornado events, this little red area you see right in there usually is kind of looped up more. It's bigger. That shows weak wind. And if I look over here on the side, the winds are just not that strong. All right, so let's get out of this one. We'll go. That's only around. That's about 1 o'clock, which would be about right now actually. Let's continue. Whoops, I went too far ahead. Let's go back. All right, so here we are at 4 o'clock. Now, where you see those colors, those orange colors, that represents instability that's developing. Instability is just an imbalance in the atmosphere with temperatures, and the atmosphere balances itself by producing storms. So if we look at, all right, so here this would be a hodograph at 4 o'clock near Henrietta, and there again, nice and long. You know, there's some curvature there, but not just a lot. Especially the lower part. The lower part's just weak. Now this one might. This is down. This would be near Fort Worth or just northwest of Fort Worth. This one might be a little bit better. Okay, that one's better there. All right, so that does show. You know, this does show more of a turn. Look at that turn. Boom! You got a nice westerly turn in here, stretching the hodograph out, and there's more turn right in this area. Now that's down towards Dallas, Fort Worth area. Not incredibly strong, but a little bit stronger. And I can see how that might allow the storms that rotate to perhaps produce a tornado or two down that way. Maybe. Let's go back in time a little bit here. I keep on speeding up. Here's one near Henrietta again. And like I say, you got the turn. The turn is there. It's just not stretched out. If you had strong low-level winds, this would be more, boom, would be more up here. Watch my cursor, it'd be more up in here. And things would be stretched out more. Yes, there is turn there. And I definitely think the severe threat is definitely there. I'm not saying it's not. It's definitely there. Definitely there for, severe storms to produce very large hail. If there's going to be tornadoes, I think anyway, based upon what I'm seeing here, and this is just kind of based upon what I'm seeing, it would be down there from about the Dallas-Fort Worth area, maybe over to about PK south. Any supercell that can develop in those areas might have a chance to rotate. There might be slightly better wind shear, low-level wind shear down there that might allow those storms to maybe rotate a little more. Now, if you do get a tornado in those areas, to me, that looks like it would be more of the weaker, briefer variety, but there still could be some. The further north you go, I think the less that threat is. This is the latest HRRR run. This is the 2. This would be this 2 o'clock. There's your 3 o'clock. Boom, and there's your 4 o'clock. Now, that's a big supercell showing up on the latest one across southern Oklahoma. And there's some big supercells down in this area, too. Basically, really anywhere. Now, those are big. Yeah, that latest run of the HRRR model looks pretty gross across North Texas as far as big supercells with hail. And remember, supercells do rotate, and they can produce tornadoes. I'm not saying that won't happen, but I just don't think if the low-level winds were a little bit stronger, I might be a little more concerned about that. I mean, even your significant tornado parameters aren't that high. This shows an environment that would be more conducive for tornadoes, but you can see it a little bit better, kind of down into northeast, kind of north central Texas, kind of down into central Texas. And these flags over here represent the wind direction and spin. Look at the photographs just aren't even that good. So, with that said, my biggest concern this afternoon is going to be very, very large hail, okay, with supercells. Lower end threat for a tornado or two. I mean, it certainly is there. The threat is there, but it's not a big threat. It's a lower end threat. And, in my opinion, it's not the way things look. It's not the situation like they've been seeing to the east where there's been all these huge tornadoes and these big outbreaks and whatnot. This is more of a situation. You can ask me questions here now if you want to. More of a situation where there's these big supercells that develop. They produce this gigantic hail. And then they also can produce perhaps a brief, some type of a brief tornado. Maybe, the lower end variety type things. But again, down towards kind of south of us, maybe a slightly better chance for that to happen. So we'll have to keep it. Now, I don't know what my role yet is today. I'm off today. Austin Bowling is in the studio. So I haven't decided what my role is going to be yet today. We've gotten to where uh, most of what we do these days is on social media. We try not to interrupt programming unless we have to. So I haven't decided yet what I want to do. I'm going to be doing some type of coverage, whether that be here on the at my house, or if I go to the station and cover it there, or if I get in the storm tracker. I don't know. I don't get the opportunity to get in the storm tracker very often, and because bigger in tornado events, I'm going to be in the studio. Bigger in severe weather events, but something like this, I might be more willing to get in a tracker and have a chance to let somebody else kind of cover the weather and let myself get out there and have some fun in that too. I like it. I can broadcast, especially Facebook Live, when even from the road, it doesn't matter. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Ideally, if I'm a storm chaser and you want the best chance for seeing a bigger tornadic storm would be kind of south. But if we get something like that up this way, our tracker has to be in this area too. So I don't know yet. I haven't decided yet. I want to do the social media and I want to go in the tracker, but I might need to go to the station. I just don't know yet. I haven't decided yet. Christina Agan, what do you want to know about wind strength? April, this will be out of here probably by 6, 7 o'clock. Well, 7, 8 o'clock, definitely out of here in Northwest Texas, that is. Yeah, Stevens County could get some pretty big hail, Polly, so be on the lookout for that. Not a whole lot of questions here this afternoon, and I'm probably I'm going to have to make decisions about what I'm going to do here soon. Do I want to? Yeah, Bowie's in that area could get some pretty big hail over there, Ashley. Some really big hail is possible in your area, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, Stephenville, you're kind of in that area where if you get supercells, the low-level wind shear, and it still isn't incredibly strong, but it might be a little bit, the low-level spin, that is. It's not particularly strong, but it might be a little bit stronger down there. You have a better chance at seeing a tornado or two in Stephenville. I'm not sure where Newport is. Graham, you're in that area too with some pretty big hailstones. Low end threat of a tornado down there too. Archer City, Leslie would be in the area with some big hail. A low end threat for something that might spin up out of those storms. Shepherd Air Force Base, if one of those supercells can move over the city, you would get into some big hail, but it's uncertain that that's going to happen. Nocona, Texas, Jonathan would be in that area with some big supercells with some possible hail and lower end tornado threat. Jennifer, it looks like after 3 o'clock before thunderstorms will get going. Ryan, it looks like most of the severe weather is just north of you in Austin, but certainly you need to keep an eye out down that way. But I think most of it's north of you. Yeah, Jack County, you're kind of down in that area too. Yeah, Patty, you're kind of in that area too. We're watching pretty closely, Jacksboro, Bowie area. You could see some in Seymour. You could, Nancy, but the worst might be just east of you. We'll keep an eye on that area. Vernon, I think the worst will be east of you. Could get started over your way, though. Between Bowie and Jacksboro. Thank you, Laura, for clarifying that for me there. Yeah, you're kind of in that area. You could get some big hail and maybe some brief type tornadoes down that way. Oakland, Union, Sabrina, you're mostly going to be kind of on the western side of all of this. Burke, you could see some hail there too. It's possible some severe weather in Burke, April. Stephenville area, anytime after 3 or 4 o'clock, there could be some pretty big storms down that way. Just watch those storms pretty close. There are going to be some big ones down there, I think. And talking about severe weather outbreaks, this could be a severe weather outbreak for hell. I mean, it certainly is. I do expect a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings this afternoon, and a couple tornado warnings too. So, it might form into something linear, kind of east of Dallas, kind of over there, kind of along I-35 this evening. Chuck. And Wichita Falls is in the threat area. I'm not saying we're definitely going to get it, but we're in the threat area for some pretty good hailstones here. Yeah, Jennifer, I will be live. Like I say, I don't know what capacity yet I'm going to be at. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I mean, it's 1 o'clock. I need to be making a decision here soon. So, but I'm sure I will be doing some type of a live update with this. I don't know if it'll be from studio here at the house or if it'll be storm chasing in the tracker. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do it. So, it's Sunday. This is not a high end event for us. We've got somebody there to cover it. This is, like I said, gives me the opportunity to do more, with things I don't normally get to do. This gives me the opportunity to actually maybe go out in the tracker if I wanted to, or maybe to, do more stuff from home here. Yeah, I'm gone away from home so much during the springtime because I do a lot of yard work. I'm at the station. We start our tracker tour this week, so I'm gonna be on the road every single day in April. So I will not be home very, very, very much this month. And we got to deal with severe weather on top of that from time to time. And then we got to, then we get into May, it's the same thing. We don't have the tracker tour. It usually wraps up before then, but it's got so much going on. And we're not. Austin's just the freelancer, Sam. Austin does a great job, and I wanted to hire him, but he didn't have an interest in doing it full time. So we've actually hired 2 great meteorologists that'll be here in May. I'm so excited about them. First time in a long time I've had a full weather team, so excited about them. And like I say, we would have hired Austin full time a long time ago. He just didn't have an interest in wanting to do it full time. He has a full time job already, and he just enjoys doing it. Help out when needed. So, I hope your wedding is inside, and also be weather alert, Devonna. Vernon, again, very close, but I think a lot of it's going to be just east of you. They get started over that way and then move and get more intense once it moves east. Yeah, Sam, Garrett's great, but Garrett is leaving us. He's moving to Utah with his soon-to-be fiance soon. And he's going to be working for a TV station out of Salt Lake City. Bigger market, but certainly not his preferred weather type, that's for sure. Hopefully he won't be gone too long. Hopefully he'll make his way back over this way at some point. Going to miss Garrett a lot. Garrett was a fantastic meteorologist and a great friend too. So I'm going to miss him a lot. And I do get out when I can, Chuck, but I don't get out that often. I just don't have that opportunity to very often because I want to be, giving you guys the information and tracking storms from behind the scenes. And even so, I don't even know what my plan would be and where I would go. So today, because there's so many areas, so many storms. I think Bowie is under the gun, Lindsay. I do, for some big hail. Yeah, Iowa Park's kind of in that range too, but a lot of it's going to be south and east of there, I think. But it could be some over you too. So we'll watch it and see. All right, well, just be looking for the updates this afternoon as we get this stuff going. Like I say, I don't know if you'll see me here, same place here for the house, if you'll see me at the station, or if you'll see me on the storm tracker. I don't know yet. So, but one way or the other, you're going to be covered because Austin's got you on TV, even if I'm not there. I've got you here on social media, and that's kind of where we're at. So we'll see how it goes. All right, just be on the weather lookout. Probably some watches coming over the next couple. I imagine tornado watch should probably be issued in the next 2 hours or less. So we'll be watching out for that. All right, everybody. I will be watching things for you. Be watching over things for you this afternoon. No need to panic. No need to be scared. I'm not panicking. Am I? No, I'm not. So you shouldn't either.